Right now at 6, a police chase from Illinois into Missouri ends in a fatal crash on westbound I-70 near West Florissant.
And we've got cloudy skies to start the day. Temperatures warming up and they'll continue to climb this week. A look at your forecast coming up.
Plus, President Trump signs an executive order to reclass marijuana from Schedule 1 to Schedule 3 drugs.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. At 6 a.m., I'm Samantha Walker.
And I'm Chris Warder. It's Monday, December the 22nd. Happy Monday. Some of you may not even have work this week at all, so you might not even be awake yet. But those of you who are awake, those of you who still have some work to do, a couple more days this week, whatever the case may be, well, happy Monday. And hopefully you're ready for Christmas because it's like right here. It's just about here.
You have about 3 days to really get any preparations done. I know I've been saying I have a to-do list. I'm like, okay, this is what I have to get done each day. Monday, this is your tasks. Tuesday, this is your task. Wednesday is, figure everything else out.
Yeah, that's really what you've got, because a lot of places, not every place I know, but a lot of places closing early on Christmas Eve, probably by about 6 for most places. So if you haven't got anything done, now's the time to wrap it up, and at least the weather will cooperate in terms of temperatures. You don't have to put on 18 layers and then try and carry all that stuff all at the same time, because it's going to be very March-like. Actually, it's even going to be closer to April-like weather as we get closer to Christmas, and that begins today. We're going to start with our look outside from downtown Pittsburgh. Again, we've got cloudy skies, and you can see off in the distance, probably the Riverton, Galena areas. You can see the lights reflecting up there on those clouds. Our camera 7th and range line, well, you can just straight up see the clouds out there. We'll head over to the KDOT camera, 69-400, looking along 171. Again, they've zoomed it out. We're getting a little more grass. It's not good-looking grass out there this time of year. It's not snow or anything by any means on the grass. Obviously, it's nowhere near snow season. Strike that. It is snow season. We're just not seeing any. It's way too warm for that business. MoDOT camera 20th in range line in Joplin. Again, looking pretty good. And I'm sure here before too much longer, a lot of folks, if you have work, you'll be heading out, but otherwise probably some last minute shoppers. Temperatures, Joplin, you've come up a degree now, 49. Pittsburgh sitting at 48. And I want to again just remind you that 47, 48, that's our average high for this time of year. And most of us are already above that, especially down south. Look at all the 50s on the board. We've got a number of 51s, Veneta Grove, Anderson, J. Our cool spots right now look to be Stockton and Monette, both at 46. And we do have that breeze. It's not a lot, but it is giving us some 39-degree wind chills at Stockton and Greenfield, and some low 40s out there. And winds will continue to increase, too, as we head through the morning. And take a look at our temperature difference now compared to 24 hours ago this same time. We are 21 degrees warmer now than where we were, again, 24 hours ago. All right, so cloudy to start. Skies will begin to clear as we head into the afternoon and evening, and we should have clear to mostly clear skies for a good portion of the evening before we go partly cloudy again overnight tonight, and we could get some patchy fog late tonight into early tomorrow morning as well. Temperatures today about 50 by 9 a.m. We're going to go upper 50s, low 60s for those highs, and again, south winds gusting upwards of 30 miles an hour. Temperatures continue to climb as we get closer to Christmas, and we could be flirting with some record highs this week as well. We'll go over those details with you in the full forecast here in just a few more minutes. Samantha?
Chris, thanks. Dispatch audio revealed a vehicle struck a squad car at 100 miles per hour early Sunday morning. The incident began when Fairmont City Police tried to stop 29-year-old Precious Black for a traffic violation. Officers say the driver dragged an officer a short distance while fleeing, leading to a pursuit from Illinois into Missouri. The chase ended in a crash on westbound I-70 at Cary, near West Florissant. The officer was hospitalized and is expected to recover, but the driver died at the scene. This marks the second fatal police chase from Illinois into St. Louis this year and the fifth fatal pursuit investigated by SLMPD in 2025. Detectives are reviewing dash cam and body cam video as part of the ongoing investigation. Well, Monette woman suffered a fatal gunshot wound in the parking lot of an apartment complex on Fairway Avenue. The shooter, a 33-year-old male, was barricaded in a nearby residence with their 3-month-old child. The incident happened on Saturday afternoon after a domestic dispute inside of their vehicle. The shooter surrendered to the police and is being held without bond in the Berry County Jail. The National Transportation Safety Board is investigating a fatal crash in Statesville, North Carolina, where a private jet carrying a former NASCAR driver, Greg Biffle, and 6 others crashed shortly after takeoff. Biffle, his wife Christina, their children, Ryder and Emma, and 3 others, including Dennis Dutton, his son Jack, and NASCAR community member Craig Wadsworth, died in the crash. The Cessna C550 crashed while returning to land after departing Statesville Regional Airport. Weather conditions at the time are under review, and the NTSB is working to confirm who was piloting the aircraft. The airport remains closed and the investigation is ongoing. Well, sources say the U.S. Coast Guard, with help from the military, carried out an operation in international waters. It marks the second U.S. interdiction of a vessel near Venezuela in the past 2 weeks. Earlier this month, the U.S. seized an oil tanker called the Skipper over its ties to Iran. The officials say the vessel seized Saturday was not under sanctions. The move comes as the Trump administration increases pressure on Venezuela, days after designating Nicolas Maduro's government a foreign terrorist organization. One arson suspect is arrested after a downtown Joplin apartment fire. Crews responded to the fire just before 4:45 Friday morning at the Zane Apartments on Wall Street. Responders searched the top floor for the source of smoke in the 6-story building. Authorities managed to get residents out of the building. Police and fire investigators determined arson to be the cause of the fire. Authorities have since arrested this woman, 54-year-old Jody Reagan of Joplin. She's officially been charged with first-degree arson. Reagan is currently in the Joplin City Jail. Well, dispensaries in Missouri say the reclassification of cannabis could lead to cheaper prices. President Donald Trump signed an executive order last week that will change marijuana from a Schedule I to a Schedule III drug. John Kipper spoke with an industry leader.
This is probably the biggest thing that's happened in the industry.
Co-founder and CEO of Beleaf Medical Company, Kevin Riggs, says his industry has waited 10 years for the decision President Donald Trump made Thursday, working to speed up the effort to declassify marijuana from a Schedule I drug, the harshest classification, to a Schedule III.
It has been a unique challenge.
In an Oval Office ceremony, President Trump signed an executive order that takes weed out of the same category as drugs like heroin. While not legalizing pot federally, it will allow for more research and also help dispensary owners in a variety of ways.
We will be able to pass along in pretty substantial amounts of savings to the customers and the patients in the state of Missouri.
While they're waiting for full details, Riggs, who owns 12 Suede cannabis dispensaries across the states, is optimistic the industry will be able to lower prices for customers. Right now, due to federal regulations, they're unable to do regular business tax deductions. Plus, they're forced to pay higher interest rates as the big banks refuse to do business with cannabis companies.
Cannot touch us. They can't even hold our bank accounts.
He's optimistic that with the stroke of the president's pen, they'll be able to operate like a regular business soon. And already, recreational marijuana has made an impact in Missouri. Since legalized in February of 2023, the state has seen over $4 billion in recreational sales, sending tens of millions to veterans groups. St. Louis City, St. Louis County, and St. Charles County raised a combined $4 million plus this year. On the Illinois side, they raised over $2 billion in 2024.
Be able to help offset police and fire and all these kind of things.
But in Washington, there is still a partisan back and forth with Democrats uniquely applauding a decision by President Trump
to move away from the failed war on drugs, which includes a failed war on marijuana.
While some Senate Republicans, not so sure.
Yeah, I think it's a dangerous drug, and I'm not so sure that's a good decision, but we'll see how it plays out.
Riggs says he hopes the industry in the state will next work on preventing the sale of intoxicating hemp products that have almost no regulations. That's a look at this morning's top stories and weather. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News. The Trump administration faces scrutiny over missing Jeffrey Epstein files, including one with a photo of the president. Plus, Parsons officers chase down the Grinch at Ace Hardware after he breaks into the Cherry on Top ice cream store. And heating up in the 4 states, Chris has a look at your weekly forecast. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. Topping Nation Watch, the Department of Justice is under scrutiny this weekend over its handling of the release of files related to convicted sex felon Jeffrey Epstein. CBS News found at least 15 files uploaded to the DOJ website on Friday were taken down by Saturday, and hundreds of pages were redacted, prompting some lawmakers and Epstein survivors to demand answers. CBS News' Chanel Call has more.
The Trump administration remains under scrutiny over the Justice Department's handling of the release of files related to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Among the thousands of documents initially released for Friday's deadline, CBS News determined at least 15 files were no longer available on the DOJ's website Saturday, including a file with a photo of President Trump that was put back up on the site Sunday. More than 500 pages were fully redacted, and lawmakers who push for this public release are slamming the DOJ.
We want the files out. There's a pretty simple point. Who raped these young girls? Who covered it up? And why are they getting away with it? The quickest way, and I think most expeditious way to get justice for these victims is to bring inherent contempt against Pam Bondi. And that doesn't require going through the courts.
Speaking on NBC's Meet the Press, Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche said the removal of the files from the DOJ's initial release has nothing to do with President Trump.
The reason why we are still reviewing documents and still continuing our process is simply that, to protect victims.
Among the files made public in recent days, more photos related to former President Bill Clinton and Britain's former Prince Andrew. Epstein survivors say they want the names of those who preyed upon underage girls to be released.
Are we protecting the survivors, or are we protecting these elite men that need to be put out there?
On social media Sunday, the Attorney General reaffirmed the Justice Department's commitment to bringing charges against anyone involved in the trafficking and exploitation of Epstein's victims. Chanel Call, CBS News, New York.
In other political news, a new CBS News poll published this weekend finds that many Americans are concerned about the state of the economy, with fewer than 1 in 5 of those surveyed reporting that President Trump's economic policies made them financially better in 2025. While heating up in the 4 states, Chris has a look at your Monday forecast coming up. And still to come, fewer than 30% of Americans now rate their mental health as excellent for the first time ever. And we've got some stories on the way, but first, here's a look at some Santa photos from across the 4 states. Well, welcome back. We're joined this morning again with Lori Langley. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you. We are countdown to Christmas here.
Yes, and it looks like you have a treat that's just perfect for this.
It really is. We don't do candy very often, so I thought, a classic Christmas fudge would be good, and this one is super easy. So
amazing.
The one thing I want to talk about before we get too much into our recipe, though, is kind of some of the equipment that we're going to use. It's maybe a little bit out of the ordinary, or some things you might have to dig out of the back of the cabinet.
Yeah.
You're probably doing that for Thursday dinner anyway. So while you're in there, if you have a double boiler, this is always so good for any kind of candy that involves melting chocolate. And the reason that we use a double boiler as opposed to just microwave or straight on the stovetop is this gives us indirect heat. So we've got just a little bit of water in the bottom. And what that's going to do is as that water heats, it's going to just basically create a steam that is going to give us that really slow, even heating. It's going to keep our chocolate from scorching or getting any water in it. It also gives us that perfect control. So when we get it exactly where we want it, you just pop that off of there and immediately that stops the heat.
Perfect.
So it gives us a couple different, benefits to that. Now, if you don't have a set double boiler, you can do this with a saucepan that maybe you have a glass bowl that kind of just fits over.
Yeah.
You just want to make sure you've got some space between the top of the water and the bottom of the bowl that's sitting on top of it. So not a stressful thing. Don't need to go out and buy anything new, but I think a lot of us have those in the back of the cabinet that we only pull out a couple times a year when we're doing that, and now is the time for sure. You can certainly do this in the microwave. Just want to be so careful that you dial back the percentage of the heat, the temperature on it, so that it doesn't burn that chocolate. So the other thing we're going to do before we get too far into all of our ingredients together is chop up some cherries. And you'll see here by the way I'm pouring these out that I've already drained these, gotten all of that juice out of there. You want to rinse them a little bit and get rid of all of that bright red, super sweet juice. And then you also want to kind of squeeze them out and get rid of as much moisture as possible.
Perfect.
We're going to chop them into pretty small pieces, but I'm also going to set back just a few that look really nice and whole that I'm just going to cut in half. And I'm going to save those to put on the top of our fudge so that our pieces will have some little cherry bits on top. So
yay.
As we talked about before, it's always a good idea to save some little ingredients to put on top of your bars or your candies so that's really obvious what's in them.
Yeah.
You never want to just, kind of throw something out there that's pink and have people wonder, is it cherry, is it strawberry, does it have nuts in it? If you sprinkle just a few on top, it really helps with that. So we'll save back a few of those halves. While we take a break, I'm going to work on cutting these into really small pieces because we want to be able to cut this easily. And when we come back, we'll have our water heated and ready, and we'll talk about all of those ingredients that are going to come together. Super simple, but so pretty and great for those last minute gifts.
Oh, I can't wait. Well, thank you so much, Lori. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, coming up on 624 on this Monday morning. We're going to start with the future track where, again, we've got cloudy skies out there to start today. But as we head into the afternoon and evening, those skies should begin to clear, and then we'll eventually end up with clear to mostly clear skies later this evening. Also going to be breezy today into tonight. And then we could get some patchy fog as we go after midnight. I think really after 2 a.m. We'll start to see an opportunity for some patchy fog across the region. Could be some dense fog in locations as we start Tuesday. So it's something to keep in mind. This is your kind of heads up right now that we're expecting the fog. So make sure you're prepared for it, ready to leave a little earlier on Tuesday and to drive a little more slowly. Once we get beyond the fog, though, we should have partly cloudy skies. Future track, I think, is going to look overboard on the cloud cover, which is why it's also throwing in those sprinkles. But I think we're going to be dry and we'll actually be partly cloudy pretty early in the day on Tuesday. And the good news is those winds will ease up a bit for us as well. So while, again, we're breezy today and tonight, shouldn't be as breezy heading into our Tuesday. By Wednesday, we're starting going back to partly to mostly cloudy skies through the day, and we'll start to see southwest winds pick up just a wee bit, and our temperatures will continue to climb as we head into Christmas Eve, and on Christmas Day, temperatures well above normal. In fact, we could get close to, maybe not at, but close to some record highs over the next few days here in the 4 states, which is just kind of wild. As we head into Christmas, it is not going to feel like it whatsoever out there. Okay, for this morning, again, cloudy skies, upper 40s to start, mid 50s by 11 a.m. Now, of course, depending on where you are, skies may clear a little faster, but ultimately, we'll see them clearing through the afternoon into the evening. Our temperatures today, upper 50s and low 60s, but we've also got those winds south at 10 to 15, gusting upwards of 30 miles an hour. Into the evening we go. Again, clear to mostly clear skies. Temperatures, they level out a bit, but they will eventually fall back into the low 50s, I think, for most of us. We'll go partly cloudy. We'll have that patchy fog as a possibility, and those south winds at 10 to 15, gusting to 25, so they ease up just a bit tonight. As for Christmas itself, just kind of out there in terms of temperatures, we're looking at partly cloudy skies. Could be pretty breezy on Christmas Day, though, so keep that in mind. Again, maybe if you are traveling like super local and you leave Christmas morning. Like I said earlier, our family, we visit the wife's family up in Carthage. We're not going very far, so we leave on Christmas Day. If you're doing the same thing, then be aware it's going to be very windy Christmas Day and very warm. Temperatures eventually into the mid-70s. We're at 62 to start, 70 by noon, still near 70 by 6. If you're traveling across the country, maybe you're heading out today or tomorrow, we have that atmospheric river. It's been bringing showers, thunderstorms across parts of California. We got rain up in the Pacific Northwest as well. Of course, down south, a little warmer, 82 in Phoenix if you really want the warm weather. Showers possible Brownsville. It's still in the low 80s, about 80 in Miami. Up north, we go into the mid-20s in International Falls. And if you're looking for snow later this week, I've actually got some winter storm watches in parts of Maine where they could get 6 inches plus of snowfall out there. And if you're traveling in the region, we got some cloudy skies. Little Rock about 61, low 70s into Oklahoma City with partly cloudy skies, upper 50s near Omaha, mid-50s into St. Louis. And in terms of travel delays, if you're heading through the evening, again, mainly where we're seeing the rain chances out there in the Pacific Northwest back through Idaho, parts of Wyoming, and of course in California with the rain and thunderstorms they've been seeing as well. Tomorrow, low 70s, low to mid 70s, Christmas Eve and on Christmas Day. So a very mild day out there. But again, you don't have to worry about road conditions. That's the one plus. And the second, if you've got the kids and they get all those toys or whatever it is they may get, instead of them having to stay inside and play with those things and make all that noise, maybe you just want to relax, you can send them outside on Christmas Day. It'll be pretty nice to get out there, and they'll probably enjoy that too. You know, if they get new monster trucks or whatever the case may be, they do a lot better outside than they do indoors. But again, very mild. 70 still by Friday, upper 60 Saturday. Then we head into Sunday. I don't think they're going to have that big of a drop. It's probably supposed to be 35 would be my guess. But then we go back around 50. So we're closer to normal Sunday through Wednesday next week with our temperature still above average, but closer to average. And we at least have a few shower chances in here as we head into next week as well. That's a check of your forecast. We're going to send it over to Samantha now with Health Watch.
Thanks, Chris. The mental health of many Americans remains a major challenge. A new West Health Gallup poll shows Americans are feeling worse about their mental health for the first time. Fewer than 30% of adults say their mental health is excellent, a 13-point drop over the past 6 years. Researchers say the COVID-19 pandemic appears to be a major turning point. Before the pandemic, mental health ratings were stable, with about 42% of Americans rating their mental health as excellent. That number dropped sharply in 2020 and has continued to decline. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration has expanded a nationwide recall of Reboost nasal spray to include Clear Life allergy nasal spray. The products made by MediNatura, New Mexico, may contain yeast, mold, or other microbial contaminations above safe levels. The FDA warns exposure could cause serious infections, especially for immunocompromised individuals. The recalled sprays come in 20 milliliter bottles with expiration dates from December 2022 through December of this year, and were sold online and at retail stores. So far, no illnesses have been reported. Well, the American Academy of Pediatrics is losing millions in funding for grants that the federal officials say don't align with the Trump administration's priorities. Wednesday, the Department of Health and Human Services announced it has terminated several grants to the AAP. The organization represents 67,000 U.S. pediatricians. AAP officials say they learned about the grant terminations this week, which will impact funding to programs dedicated to reducing sudden infant death, rural access to health care, and early identification of autism. That's a look at some of today's top health stories. We'll be right back. Right now at 6:30, a massive surprise turned an entire elementary school into a Christmas wonderland.
And we've got cloudy skies to start our Monday, warming up and clouds dissipating, plus a little on the breezy side. A look at your forecast coming up.
Plus, Joplin's Empire Market is spreading holiday cheer with local crafts, treats, and gifts.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6:33. I'm Samantha Walker.
And I'm Chris Warner. It is now Monday, December 22nd. Happy Monday to all of you out there. Some of you a short week, some of you not a week at all that you have to worry about work. For kids, I'm pretty sure that no school now. My youngest is here with me. Thankfully, he's not terrorizing our control room employees. Usually he's back there.
You're jinxing it now because next thing you know, he's going to be back there. He's going to be punching the buttons. He's going to take over. He's going to fire you, take over the weather.
That's all right with me. I mean, if he wants to do it, he's more than welcome to do it. Yeah, so that's where we're at. Well, happy holidays, happy yes. Everything out there. We are getting closer again to Christmas. It is not going to feel like, so don't let it sneak up on you, because I feel like, that's what happened with Thanksgiving too. Like, it was so warm leading up to it that just all of a sudden it was Thanksgiving. You're like, where did this even come from?
Yeah, and I like I've been saying, I have my to-do list, but I also have felt myself putting stuff off because I'm just like, I'll do it, because it doesn't feel like Christmas.
Yeah, if you feel like you've got a little more time than what you really have to get stuff done. So hopefully you are getting stuff done. And if you're not, that's the one plus, is the weather's cooperating. You've got an opportunity to get out and do things. It's going to be quite mild over the next several days. Let's start with our live look from downtown Pittsburgh, and there it is. And we've still got the cloudy skies out there, and we will remain cloudy through a good portion of the morning. It won't be until late morning into the afternoon that these clouds that you see here will eventually begin to go away. KDOT camera 69,400. Again, there's 171. We're getting a nice view of some grass, and the grass looks pretty good this morning. It is dry, because we have not really had much rain at all here. MoDOT camera, 20th and Range Line in Joplin, looking good so far as well. Temperatures, though, we're already above normal in many cases. Our highs should be about 47, 48. Joplin, Pittsburgh, both now sitting at 49, and we've got low 50s out there too, especially down south. Jay, the warm spot, at 53 degrees. And we've got some 46s out to the east. Those look to be the cooler temperatures, Cassville, Monette, and Stockton. We're starting to see the winds gradually pick up. Not a major impact on wind chills, but Stockton, Greenfield both feel like they're into the upper 30s out there. So there is a bit of a chill for some of you. And our temperatures this morning, again, upwards of 20 to almost 25 degrees warmer now than it was 24 hours ago. So talk about a big change out there for us. We'll have the cloudy skies as we go into the afternoon and evening. Those skies will begin to clear, and eventually we'll have clear skies before we see the return of the clouds late this evening, overnight tonight really, into tomorrow. But even then, we should only be partly cloudy, but patchy fog and some dense fog a concern late tonight into tomorrow morning as well. As for today, we'll get the clearing, 50 by 9 a.m. Our highs today, upper 50s and low 60s, and those south winds 10 to 15, gusting to 30 miles an hour. These temperatures will continue to climb as we get closer to Christmas. In fact, could flirt with some record highs a little later this week too. Maybe not reach them, but get pretty close. We'll go over those details with you in the full forecast here in just a few more minutes. Samantha?
Chris, thanks. The Southeast Kansas Humane Society held a free microchip clinic to help pet owners protect their dogs and cats. Microchipping, which can cost around $65, was offered at no cost, helping ensure lost pets can be reunited with their families if found and scanned at a vet or shelter. Well, every child at a Missouri elementary school will have a Christmas gift this year, all thanks to the generosity of one man. Mike Bush explains what led to the compassionate gesture.
Some surprises don't come quietly. They arrive all at once. At Murphy Elementary School in High Ridge, Missouri, that surprise took over the entire building. Hallways, and especially the gym, transformed from ceiling to floor into a Christmas wonderland. The results of months of planning by teachers, staff, and volunteers, all working together to give their students something unforgettable. Every student from early childhood through 5th grade walking into a moment built just for them.
That we were able to go out and buy each and every one of you a Christmas gift.
And we're not just telling you that we love you, we are showing you that we love you.
Would you help Sama get a TV?
The day was made possible by Ricky Whittington, a St. Louis philanthropist who runs the R. Whittington Foundation, working alongside the school to make sure no child was left out.
We are taking care of over 447 kids. The whole entire school will be blessed with toys today.
He doesn't see it as charity, he sees it as a choice. A chance to turn painful memory into Christmas magic.
I was a kid that never got a Christmas gift. I was a kid that never had a bed. I was a kid that never had a bedroom. I was a kid that slept on the floor.
A childhood without, now fueling a lifetime of giving.
I got surround sound headphones. I got a telescope, a Lego car.
For many of these kids, Christmas would have looked far different if not for this day.
See, you got a TV too?
And the impact will last long after the wrapping paper is gone.
We wanted our students to feel the magic of Christmas, and we want them to know that they are loved.
A reflection of what happens when generosity meets compassion.
I got a hoverboard because of this wonderful person that made all this for us.
Ricky hopes the message goes beyond toys.
Don't ever give up. Don't ever give up. Someone sees you, someone loves you. So just keep moving forward.
To the students at Murphy Elementary, there were 2 Santas on this day.
He is a blessing to not only Murphy School, but all of St. Louis and the surrounding area.
A Christmas surprise that didn't just arrive all at once. It lingered, reminding every child they matter.
The Empire Market in Joplin is giving folks a chance to buy their handmade Christmas gifts by hosting their Christmas market. KOAM's Mitch Adams brings us more.
All kinds of holiday treats ready for stocking stuffers. We're just so excited for the holidays.
Just in time for Christmas, the Empire Market in Joplin hosts their Christmas-themed market. The market hosts over 50 vendors selling handmade crafts, homegrown produce, and more.
This time of year is really the highlight of the artisan quality and crafts that we have available to make great Christmas gifts. So coordinating that, they just let us know they want to be here, and we work with them to get an application approved. Everything is online through our website at JoplinEmpireMarket.com.
Hosting these events on weekends is also a way to help small business owners, artists, and food vendors establish themselves and keep money local.
When you are purchasing a locally crafted or locally sourced food, you're keeping income in our families within our neighborhoods and our local community. And so you're helping one another out. And so that, to me, is the spirit of giving.
In Joplin, Missouri, Mitch Adams, KOAM News.
Empire Market will host a last-minute shoppers event called Tinsel and Tidings on Christmas Eve from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. That's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. Jobs most exposed to AI automation are actually growing faster than other occupations, according to new Vanguard research. Plus, Americans aren't letting economic uncertainty stop holiday travel as AAA forecasts another record season. We'll have the latest. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. In Consumer Watch, many workers fear artificial intelligence is coming for their jobs. Yet new research finds the opposite is true, at least for now. Jobs most exposed to AI automation are actually growing faster than other occupations, according to a new analysis from Vanguard. The study looked at about 140 roles considered most vulnerable to AI, including office and law clerks, HR assistants, and data scientists. While some companies say AI is replacing or streamlining entry-level tasks, Vanguard found no sign of widespread job losses. In fact, employment in high AI-exposed roles rose slightly over the past 2 years, while job growth slowed in other occupations. DoorDash is the latest food delivery company to join the AI race, partnering with OpenAI's ChatGPT to offer grocery shoppers meal and recipe suggestions. Users can enable DoorDash and ChatGPT, ask for recipes, and then shop for ingredients from major chains like Kroger and Safeway. The move follows Instacart's recent app launch on ChatGPT. The White House is warning the Smithsonian it could lose funding if it doesn't hand over records proving compliance with demands to remove content deemed race-centered or divisive. The administration wants all exhibits to reflect shared American values ahead of the country's 250th anniversary. Federal funding could be delayed or withheld if the Smithsonian doesn't cooperate. And that's it for Consumer Watch, and now here's Chris with a quick look at your forecast.
Yeah, again, cloudy skies to start the day for us. They'll be clearing into the afternoon. Breezy, warm today, warming up even more heading toward Christmas. The latest on your forecast and birthdays and anniversaries right after this time now, 6:45. Time now for some Monday birthdays, and we're going to start in Fort Scott with Macy Felt celebrating birthday number 3. Happy birthday.
And moving over to Iola, Kansas, River Kinzel is celebrating birthday number 8. It says love from Dad, Mom, and Rowan. Happy birthday, River.
And in Columbus, Logan Hensley celebrating birthday number 24 today. Happy birthday.
And in Miami, Regina Devine is celebrating birthday number 49. It says love from Pattons and Jonathan. Happy birthday, Regina.
And in Pittsburgh, Jerry Capps celebrating birthday number 72. Happy birthday.
And then finally in Lawton, Kansas, Landon York is celebrating a very happy birthday number 10. Happy birthday, Landon.
All right, and happy birthday to all of you on our list. And of course, those of you who would like to celebrate with us, and we know many of you certainly would enjoy it. Samantha has some information you should take down so that you can do so.
Yes, they should definitely pay attention to this email that they can also see on their screen. It's birthdays@KOAMnewsnow.com. That's where they can send their birthdays, their anniversaries, pictures they want us to include, but they should also make sure to to pay attention to that deadline on their screen so we can make sure that we get it in plenty of time to be able to celebrate them on their special day.
Absolutely. You don't want to miss that celebration. You don't want to be late to the party by any means. And you also don't want to be late for Christmas or whatever it is you're doing. Is some good news, at least. The road conditions are going to be just fine heading into the holiday. In terms of at least the weather side. Now, drivers, you never know. There's going to be those crazy ones out there. Don't be one of those crazy ones. Drive safe, drive smart, get where you're going. It's going to be pretty decent. It's going to be well above normal. It's going to not feel like Christmas, but there are pros and cons to that, which we'll discuss a little later. First, we got to get our Monday underway. And a reminder, our temperatures right now, our current temperatures, many of us are above our average high for this time of year already. That's the sign of the warming trend that is on the way for us as we head through the next few days. We have cloudy skies. As we head into the afternoon and evening, those skies will begin to clear, and we'll have clear to mostly clear skies out there. It's going to be breezy today into tonight. Now, overnight, we'll start to go partly cloudy again after about 2 a.m. or so, and around that same time, could get some patchy fog out there as well as we go into early tomorrow morning. So again, if you're traveling, whether it's work or shopping, or again, if you're staying local, you got some family friends you can go visit, heading out a couple of days early, you just want to be aware that there could be some fog. So make sure you plan for that. If you need to leave early, or be prepared to go a little slower in spots, just be prepared to be cautious tomorrow morning. Once we get past that, again, future track, this particular one is a little over the top, I think, on the cloud cover. In fact, so much so it's throwing in isolated sprinkles tomorrow. That's not looking likely. We should start to go partly cloudy once we get through the fog in the morning on our Tuesday. Winds will be a little lighter out there, about 5 to 10 out of the south. We go into Wednesday, though, and clouds will begin to increase again. We'll start going partly to mostly cloudy, and we could see those southwest winds pick up just a bit before they get really breezy again heading into Christmas Day, where it could be pretty windy. So anything that could blow away, you don't want to take outside. But the kids, if they get some presents or toys or whatever they want to do outside, as long as it doesn't fly, they should be okay. All right, today, cloudy, 48 to start, mid-50s by 11 a.m. And of course, depending on where you are, clouds may clear a little faster, but those will continue to clear as we head into the afternoon and evening, and eventually going to the upper 50s and low 60s. And as I mentioned, gusty south winds pushing about 30 miles an hour. Clear to mostly clear through the evening, and much like last Friday, temperatures level out for a wee bit, but they'll eventually fall back into the low 50s. South winds gusting upwards of 25, as I mentioned, partly cloudy, and perhaps some fog out there. Christmas Day, low mid 70s for the highs. Take a look at the temperatures, partly cloudy, breezy, 62 by 9, about 70 by noon, and still pretty darn mild, close to 70 by 6 o'clock Christmas Day night. Traveling outside of our area, the atmospheric river bringing showers, thunderstorms to California. We've got the low 60s, heavy rains continuing up in the Pacific Northwest. Desert Southwest, though, dry, very warm, low 80s into Phoenix, same into Brownsville. Looking very warm out there. Much colder, of course, up north, International Falls, 25. Looking at 20 if you're heading into Canada, Montreal at 20. And if you're looking for snow, again, Maine has some winter storm watches for some snow potential a little later this week. Off onto the East Coast, dry today, clear skies, cool. Of course, Florida, always warm. It's Florida. It's always warm in Florida. Traveling regionally, low 70s in Oklahoma City today, low 60s, Little Rock, cloudy, mid 50s, St. Louis, upper 50s in Omaha. But otherwise, in terms of traveling itself, looking pretty good if you're traveling regionally today. And it'll look pretty good all the way through Christmas. We'll have another look at your forecast here in just a moment, as well as your wake-up recap. And when we switch over to Fox 14 at 7 a.m., mourners gather at the Lincoln Memorial to pay their respect to the U.S. penny. That story and more at 7 a.m.
This is your Wake Up Recap for December 22nd, your top stories to start your day. A Monette woman suffered a fatal gunshot wound in the parking lot of an apartment complex on Fairway Avenue. The shooter, a 33-year-old male, was barricaded in a nearby residence with their 3-month-old child. The incident happened on Saturday afternoon after a domestic dispute inside of their vehicle. The shooter surrendered to the police and is being held without bond in the Berry County Jail. A pedestrian was struck by a car near Opolis, Kansas yesterday morning. According to authorities, the 37-year-old Pittsburgh man was hit while walking in the roadway and was pronounced dead at the scene. The driver suffered minor injuries and was transported to Mercy Hospital. That's a check of today's Wake Up Recap.
And again, a warm one out there, upper 50s, low 60s. Skies clearing, south winds gusting to 30. Into the evening, mostly clear skies. Temperatures leveling out eventually in the low 50s. South winds gusting to 25. Partly cloudy overnight and some patchy fog as we head into the late night hours tonight, early tomorrow morning. Low 70s tomorrow, low mid 70s Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. Breezy on Christmas, but dry. We'll cool back just a wee bit next week. A little closer to normal, but still above average with some rain chances heading into next week as well. So again, for the Christmas holiday, it's going to be warm, it's going to be breezy, but it's also an opportunity for the kids to take stuff outside that they get for Christmas, and that way they can go out and relax or play, and you can relax inside.
It's just weird to see that Christmas Day is going to be the warmest day of the week.
Yeah, it's just kind of wild.
Well, coming up today at noon, we're making a white chocolate mousse cake in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
And your morning news continues on KOAM with CBS Mornings. NASA plans to put another buggy on the moon. Coming up, a special look at an out-of-this-world test drive.
Or you can switch on over with us on Fox 14, where your only local morning news continues. This morning, Lori Langley shows us how to make one of her delicious sweet treats that's sure to be the first to go at your holiday gatherings.
Plus, Parsons, Kansas police apprehend a suspect accused of multiple charges, including mischief, destruction of dessert property, and illegal taste testing.
It sounds like Lori is in danger, possibly.
Was it Lori? We'll find out if you join us at 7 a.m. That's going to wrap it up for us for now. We're back tomorrow morning at 5 a.m.
And we'll see you today at noon.